and what I got back was nothing. I am completely empty-handed. I was told those documents don't exist. Itself up to abuse?
No, we haven't found that it does.
The goal every day, no matter what time of day, is to arrive safely at your destination. So if you use the following 3 intersections, you'll want to use extra caution. Are there any concerns for you in that data?
I wouldn't be overly concerned about that.
You have a couple different options to better source your pet's food. First, you can buy food labeled human grade. That means, yes, you can actually eat it. And no, it doesn't taste bad. 2 memberships to golf clubs. Why is that necessary?
Yeah, so it's not.
Now remember, the AADC is almost completely taxpayer funded, and its operating budget is close to $2 million. ABC 7 showed you receipts for luxury hotels, high-end meals, rounds of golf, and top-shelf liquor. There were illegible receipts and handwritten ones. All the expenses were legitimate. Here's why, according to the former AADC interim president.
We do have policies, we just don't have written policies.
And there's still nothing in writing. So ABC 7 sat down with the new AADC president and CEO, Barry Albrecht, who was hired last month. He says that document is on the way.
We've already started collecting best practices from around the country. That was actually done before I even started.
The AADC started in 1989, but Albrecht says he wasn't surprised to find there were no written policies.
It's just formalized.
The AADC's budget is approved by City Council. Some council members asked the organization to develop spending policies before approving its budget last August. But 6 months later, they're left wondering why they still haven't seen anything.
It is pretty offensive and ridiculous, especially to taxpayers.
To learn that there still are no policies and procedures is actually very disappointing.
It was my hope that they would have addressed the issue, particularly something as simple as a travel policy, by now.
They need to keep the proper paperwork that would pass an IRS investigation, and that certainly wouldn't.
The AADC president tells me it will be 90 to 120 days for those written policies to be developed. I took a look at the number of tickets each red light camera intersection in Amarillo was generating each year, and what I found were several inconsistencies. So what I did is I went down to each red light camera intersection, including this one right here at Pearson 11, to see the cameras firing. And what I found was several of them may be misfiring. The camera at Coulter and I-40 never flashed once. Not even when this driver clearly ran the light. Pearson 11th, the light flashes 11 times, even though no cars are in the intersection. So ABC 7 went to another red light camera intersection at Amarillo Boulevard and Pierce, where there were no inconsistencies in the data. There we saw some cars run the light and the camera flashes. But 3 cars run the light and the camera never fires. The red light camera contract expires in August. ABC 7 will continue to follow how City Council handles the renewal process. If all the bonds passed and all the water and sewer fees go into effect, then everyone in Amarillo will be paying more. 1 through 7, you'll see these bond issues on the ballot. Here's what we've heard.
Amarillo, as we know, has the lowest tax rate. Even if all of the bonds pass.
We're 15% of your total tax bill now, roughly.
We'll still have a low tax rate, relatively low.
The cost of living here is probably cheaper than most places in the United States.
Talking about a little over $20 a month.
ABC 7 dug into the numbers to clear up the confusion. There are some assumptions in these calculations, so I'll point them out. Amarillo's city tax rate is currently 35 cents, which is almost 15% of the total tax rate. It's 14% of Potter's total taxes and 16% of Randall's. Here's how we compare to other Texas cities our size for city tax rates now. Amarillo has the lowest rate. But you'll pay more than just city tax on your tax bill. You'll also pay county, school, college, and water tax for a total tax rate of $2.42 in Potter and $2.17 in Randall. Currently, Amarillo ranks second for the lowest total tax rate for Texas cities our size. If all 7 bonds pass, the city tax rate will increase to 55 cents. That increases city tax to 21% of Potter's total taxes and 23% of Randall's, assuming no other taxes change. It's a 57% change in city taxes. It's not a 57% increase in taxes or a doubling of city taxes. Only Abilene will have a higher city tax rate, assuming the tax rates in the other cities don't change in 5 years. And only Midland will have a higher overall tax rate. The average taxpayer will owe $247.68 more in total property tax if all 7 bonds pass. That's an extra $20.44 a month. Amarillo City also recently increased fees for water and sewer that residents pay monthly. The fees went up 3% October 1st. The city plans to increase water and sewer fees 3% each year for 5 years for a 15% total increase. But the city council has to vote on the 3% increase each year. The average bill will increase $108.12 annually, or $9.01 monthly by 2020, assuming City Council passes all the increases. This number also assumes no summer watering. So, how much more total will you by 2021 pay if all 7 bonds pass and water and sewer increases the full 15%, assuming no other tax changes? You'll spend $355.80 more for the bonds along with the water and sewer fees. The average bill for both will be $1,470.88 annually, or $122.57 a month. Now, I know you just saw a lot of numbers and calculations, and there's a lot of questions about what is an average home and water and sewer bill. I posted all that information on our website, abc7amarillo.com, so head there to find out more.